finally worked. Harbaugh's been calling games a long time. I talked to J.K. McKay. No one's really seen one at USC that actually worked, and they got it done. This guy threw it. This guy to our left, Cody Kessler, the most pass attempts. I was worried about this when you're dropping back. You know, I was like, oh, now he's just going to throw one up. Hope he doesn't get a pick. Most pass attempts in the country without an interception. You said today in practice you don't believe in jinxes, so you don't mind me saying that, right?
No, not at all. Yeah, it's all. I told him that it was all preparation. You know, I don't believe in that.
Well, yeah. What is the key to efficiency, though? I mean, that's the word everyone keeps labeling you with. What's the key to it?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is your preparation. Like I said, you know, knowing your opponent better than they know themselves. And Coach Helton does a great job of that. When we sit in our meetings and they feel like they drag on forever, but they really do benefit us on Saturdays, and especially me. When I see a look that they give me on the field that I've seen a million times in the film room, I know where to go with the ball. I know what coverage is going to be. I know where they're going to be defensively, and I think that's been a key to a lot of my success on not turning the ball over.
You know, it's funny because I get caught in the trap of saying, yeah, he's efficient. He's efficient. We've been saying it for like the last 14 weeks, going back even to last year, right?
It's been true for a long time.
Yeah, and so, but do you get tired of the label efficient? You just, when are we going to get to good?
No, I don't. I've had a lot of labels since I've been here. You know? There's been a lot of stuff, and that's expected always. But no, I just focus on what I can control. You know, and that's how I play on the field. And then there's always going to be someone's going to say this about you, or label you as this, or you know, call you that, and I just block all that out. You know, and this team does a really good job doing that too. You know, there's a lot of articles that were written about us, obviously, after that upsetting loss against Boston College, but these guys came out like nothing happened. You know, they came ready to work during that bye week. A lot of the younger guys got a lot of reps, and it was really cool to see, and I think that showed in the Oregon State game.
Stay with that, though, because as you said, you have gotten a bunch of labels here. You had to fight really hard for the job, which is a little bit different than the sort of recent quarterbacks that sort of had the torch passed to them. You really had to fight. You had to hold off Max Wittig, and then this year all of a sudden they're throwing you into a competition technically with Max Brown, and you won that, but while you won it, you were talking big. You were thinking much bolder. You were saying, hey, I don't want to just be the USC quarterback. I want to be compared to the nation's best quarterbacks, which I think you finally are getting that bigger goals than just being a starter.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that I focus on is, or I've said before, is that stats not a really big important thing to me, winning losses is, and I think what that correlates to, though, is you have to have good stats, you know, to win games, especially as a quarterback. But, yeah, I mean, I went to the Manning camp this summer. And I threw with all, you know, pretty much the top guys in the country. You know, Jameis was there, Marcus, Brett Hundley, all these guys were up there. And, you know, I personally felt like I was right there with them. We were throwing back and forth and we were getting into it and kind of having a competition going on. And I ended up losing to Sean Mannion in the accuracy challenge and stuff like that. But it was a good time. But also, you know, it was kind of a thing for me to compare myself to some of the other guys when we threw routes on air and other stuff like that. And I felt like, yeah, I mean, I felt like goal for me, an attainable goal, was to be right up there with some of the guys around the country, and not in a cocky way or big-headed way, but you have to have that type of confidence and think that you can outplay anyone to be successful.
Yeah, no question. You know, in Sark, you heard him when he was up here earlier. He said, you know, the one thing about you is that the work ethic is still there, trying to get better. What is the one thing you're trying to really focus on getting better at?
Something I focused on in the offseason was being a better vocal leader. You know, kind of last year, established myself as a starter, and then going into this year. And like you said, being a coach on the field, sometimes I do it a little too much, but, you know, I want guys to be able to look at me when maybe things aren't going our way, or even if things are going right, be able to look at me and know that, you know, I'm always going to have that positive, not get too emotional, and be that leader that the team needs. And especially in tough times, you know, after the Boston College game, you know, Coach Helton said these guys are going to look to you and see how you respond. And I came out that bye week and got everybody going and gotten fired up. And, you know, that's my biggest thing I'm working on is being a leader, and obviously little stuff here and there on the field, but
right.
My leadership is most important to me.
Yeah, staying with that leadership, as you said, you are a fiery guy. Sometimes leading is getting on guys and yelling at them. Sometimes it's encouragement. When you have so many young players on your offense that are going to make young mistakes, do you have to steer more towards the, you know, just next play and stay positive kind of thing and less on riding them?
I think the best thing that I've seen with our young guys is that, I mean, they love the game of football. They love to learn. They want to play. And that makes my job easy. You know, I don't have to yell at them all the time to do the right thing, because if they mess up, they're going to be just as hard as I would be, you know, on themselves. And that's something that's very important to me, to know that these guys are going to take it serious. These young guys, Ajane, Juju, guys like that, even our linemen, you know, V and Mama, those guys are going to spend extra time in the film room to make sure they don't make those mistakes. And if they do make them, they're going to fix them right away. And it takes a lot of pressure off me. Having to make sure, you know, having to worry about them, and you know, I can just play my game, and I know that they're going to do their job.
You know, you completed passes to 9 different receivers last Saturday. Obviously creates a lot of balance and a lot of frustration for the defense. But how difficult is it for you to adjust to those 9? Because within those 9 guys, you got guys 5'10", you got guys that run 4'3", you got guys that run 4'6".
Yeah.
How much of a difference is it for you in terms of knowing who's out there, who you're throwing to?
Well, the thing with this offense is when we run plays, guys are going to be lined up at different spots. You're not always going to get, Nelson at this spot or Nelson at the left or Nelson being the main guy. You're going to have other guys that we go so fast, you don't have time to flip the whole, package. You got to line up where you're at, and one play, Ajane might be the main target, or Juju, or Nelson, or George, any of those guys. So I feel like I have great chemistry with all of them. Obviously, me and Nelson have had the longest relationship, throwing to him and stuff, but other guys are coming on strong. Darius now has, I think, 2 touchdowns. George got his last touchdown a couple weeks ago. So in this offense, you have to be able to prepare to throw anybody, and that's why we spend time after practice. We stay after, and I throw with the younger guys, or we throw routes on there. We take it really serious, we try to keep any of the footballs hitting the ground. That's kind of the thing we want to do, and I think that shows in the game. Like you said, 9 different guys caught the ball, so I feel comfortable with pretty much whoever we put in there.
Yeah, Sark always says he's a better athlete than people give him credit for. I think maybe finally people are starting to notice that too. But you were a big-time basketball player. We're here next to Galen Center. Did you ever consider playing hoops in college?
I did. I actually did. That was my first love growing up in middle school. And I think once I got to about my freshman, sophomore year of high school was when I really started taking football serious. My colleges, and I sat down, with my dad and my high school coach at the time, Coach Nixon, and we talked about, what do you want to do? What do you want to play? Because it's going to be tough to do both. I mean, you can, but what do you want to focus on? And I told them football. Football was something that I couldn't give up. I could give up basketball. I still miss it, but I couldn't give up football. I wouldn't be able to live myself.
All right, we could go 2-sport. I'm just saying, Hoops team maybe sometimes could use a little Cody Kessler on the team. Thank you to Cody for get 2 points for safety. Drop to 20% because with Allstate, safe drivers with a good driving record can save up to 20% on car insurance with the Distinguished Driver Discount, and that's on top of other discounts. So don't wait. Call Lakewood Allstate Agency Sailor Insurance today. Thank you to Cody Kessler. When we come back, we're going to talk about a Galen Center athlete. We're going to talk to a Galen Center athlete. It'll be the men's volleyball center, Micah Christensen, coming up next on Trojans Live.